Hello and welcome. It is Sunday, the 10th day of January 2020, 6:58 p.m. Eastern Time, and this is the Money Charts channel. All bets trades. And within the well, that's within each's own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. One of the things I've been mentioning is how well this market has been doing, this being the Bitcoin market, in recovering from these short-term price corrections. So again today, back in here, you can see it had an intraday move where it went down a little bit. That one there retraced and corrected back really quickly, but today, same thing. Whether we are going to retrace back to those lows and go lower again, well, time will only tell. But so far, the market has been doing nothing more than making higher highs and higher lows. And well, another low today comes in that of $34,322 on the Bitstamp exchange. On the 4th of January, it was $27,000 in low change, and the high that day was 33. Did we come back to where we came from? Well, this high was on January the 3rd. We had a high of 34.8. And the low today, 34,322. So it pierced extra by $400 and change. Basically a percent. Yeah, it came back to where it came from. On the single hour term, and I guess if I go like this, maybe you can see it better because of the volume. I didn't mean to draw the line there. Just move this up. This is it. But that's hourly. If we look at this on, say, the 15-minute term, it comes down with time, 1,500 hours, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. And amongst the 1 minute, I mean, these things can happen fast. 15, 17, 37,000 and change. And then 15:29, so when you're finished your cup of coffee or whatever 10, 12-minute beverage you're drinking, down below 35,000. And how fast it recovers comes immediately. I mean, just a sharp rally, just the movements from it gave it all back from 15:18 or 3:18 p.m. Eastern to 3:35, a 17-minute differential. 37,000 to 34.5. That's a differential of 2,500 points, or 6-7%. All of it back, makes the higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Right now, this is a higher low. And that's, of course, short-term, 1-minute term time frame stuff. And again, on the daily term, just nothing but a spectacular uptrend. Weekly term, well, the week is just closed. The week closed at a gain of 15 and a third percent. 4 consecutive up weeks in a row, but really, there hasn't been a real down week since August the 31st. I mean, these don't really count. And even really, you can say that this 6.5%, although it's still a noticeable number, kind of doesn't count. And I got to say the same thing with this 3% up month, a sideways month. But the last 4 meat-sized or good-sized green candles, just like the collective of these ones in here. And this is getting above 11,000. It's been a spectacular run, to say the least. On the monthly term time frame, just starting to get extended. And I'm not going to use overextended probably on this, unless I can go straight up to at least around 60, minimum 60, 70,000, and then I might say overextended on this time frame. Yeah, big difference between linear and logarithmic chart. This is a logarithmic chart. I go linear. Things look so much different. Markets move exponentially, not linearly. That means back in the day, all the people that love linear charts were saying back in the day, nothing's happening, because in the future it's going to look like this. But in reality, if markets end up going to major numbers, then then nothing's happening right now too, because how small are these moves compared to say, now I want to go. Some people say it's going to 1 million, or even close to it. I mean, how small is this move compared to 700,000? Looking at, of course, logarithmically. So that is that. Now, as far as trades are concerned, I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 10 different crosses that I've been trading since June the 1st of 2020. Theta with Tezos, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Hedera Hashgraph with Tezos and Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin with Bitcoin Cash and Ripple, and Bitcoin Cash with Tezos and Ripple. So the amount of cross trades from one coin to another that I made since December 14th with Theta and Tezos is 8. It's been almost a month since December the 14th. A few days away from that, considering we're moving into the 11th day now of January. June 1st to December 13th. Well, if it's to December 1st, that would be a half a year. So half a year plus almost 2 weeks. So a little over half a year. I've made more trades in the last almost 1 month than I'd made in a little over 6 months before. So 6.5 times more of a time range with the trades on the right-hand side. I've made 10 with Ripple since then, 9 before, 8 against Bitcoin Cash, just as I did before 8. LITECOIN, much different story, 3 on the Theta against this in here. Now, a decent amount of trades were being made from in here because, well, before December 13th, Theta had just a phenomenal move. So there's a lot of Theta selling going on during that time frame as well. Had our Hashgraph and Tezos, only 2 trades from June the 1st to December the 13th, but 7 from December 14th. Bitcoin Cash, 6 to 4. LITECOIN, 2 to 3 against Bitcoin Cash. And that was to be expected when I did this. I'm like, well, these are 2 coins I want to own, but they're almost like low volatile, like you're not going to get as many trades through, but because I want to hold them both, I might as well flip them back and forth as it is. So that's why I trade that. Where Ripple, 8 trades cents. Of course, all the big news on Ripple means there's going to be more trades within that. And then 4 cents before. Bitcoin Cash and Tezos. Well, you can see the net total. I've made 62 pair trades since December 14th amongst these ones. I got other coins that have started post June the 1st that I'm not counting on here. Of course, I need to compare for even Steven math, but 54, which is lower by 8 in a lower amount of time. Now, why did I use these dates? Well, December 14th, well, that's when things started to pick up. So there wasn't much trades, 13, 12, 11, all those days before. And November was not that busy either. Why am I starting at June the 1st? Well, back after the March incident, late March, when the shutdown of sports and everything went on for a major world lockdown, really. Well, the crypto markets got very volatile in April and May. I had a lot of trades in April and May, so I don't want those numbers. Oh, I have a decent amount. Maybe I should have put April and May trades or since March. I could have do that, but because almost all these coins I was trading even in April, and because when I was looking at the math, first I was doing since April, I'm like, man, this number is too big. And when you're trying to get your best statistical data chart together, you always want to make it look as sexy or as most appealing as possible to the point you're trying to prove. And the point here I'm trying to prove is things are picking up to extensive major levels. And Tezos being one of the coins, I want to go over that because I think it's got an interesting bullish setup right now. And I would not be surprised if we move into Monday, Tuesday this week and we have a very, very up week and an update on Monday, Tuesday. We'll see if it happens or not, though. I mean, on the weekly time frame, doesn't look too good here. Everything just keeps on going down. We did have an up week this last week for the first time since, and even this one that really doesn't count again, September, 2.17%. And the up week was 11.9%. Now, if you look at the poor log scale, this green candle is 12.67%, and this is 11. I don't know how real the log is. It's 11.93% for this green candle, and this is like 11.9. So this one's smaller than this. So I can tell right by looking at this that it's an improper log function, but that's not what I'm getting at here. I'm just looking at that now. On the daily term time frame, this is a double bottom. We're going to see it much better when we look at the shorter term analysis, but bing and then bing. It's still got to get above the neckline. And let's take a look at this on the 4 hour, because this is where it looks pretty cool. We did before have all of this. And before even that, we had this resistance here, and which was support here. So we've twice been able to resist, and this is the third time now, a key area where it supported. This breakdown established a level of support we can test it kind of here. But what I like about what we're seeing here is we make this high, and then we come back to the 18. We have these 2 periods in which just hangs in there as well as it does. And this last 4 hour stamp, and we just started a new period with 3 hours and 51 minutes left. but it had a nice little breakout. And you can even see just by looking at this, you see, okay, so we're 9 minutes in, just a small fraction of the time. We're already coming back to where he came from. So Fibonacci from here to here is going to be important, holding the area of like 684 area, meaning you see weakness amongst there. You're now going to see that this bullish setup is basically foregone and done. It has just microscopically gotten above this level of resistance. So it's like, not much, definitely not much to validate. You look at this on the hourly time frame, though, we can see just how fantastic this thing did correct within this for a good portion of a day even. And then as it has this little candle here where it comes up to the highs, pulls back to where it's been resisting. This period in here gets to the highs. This period barely gets above it. Then the extension matching previous high. And now we got this little bit of a small correction within. And I'd be looking at Fibonacci from this low to this high short term. But basically it's around here, the must hold area, where we came from. If you see price action faltering in this general area, then again, like I mentioned just about a minute or so ago, the setup is over. But it does look like there's a good chance that this thing is going to continue on well moving forward. Let's move on next to Bitcoin Cash against the Bitcoin, which it's an interesting move, getting above the 18 average of highs. This is the first day since when it's, well, since here, I guess. It's spent the whole days above the highs. And of course, this one ended up failing. It's pretty much the exact same type of setup where it was below the lows, gets to the lows, gets to the highs, gets nicely above. Of course, it did this much faster in one day. Gets to the lows, gets to the highs, and nicely above. So now, at this stage, an attempt to revert the trend, at least neutralize the situation. To neutralize it, that means it's going to not go up from here, really, and it's going to really hold around the 12 number. But let's take a look at this more short term. What can we see for more? Well, 4 hour, it had a very, very good portion of its move right from the start. A little bit of correctionary move in here, and even this is just not much of a move as it is. So this is definitely live for a decent sized move at any time if it's going to happen, meaning it's most certainly not, it's more overextended here than it is right now. And the price is higher now because of the correctionary moves that it's been enduring. On the single hour term time frame, it has been, you can see how just well extended it gets above this at 11 o'clock on the morning on Saturday's session. Just keeps on going up, and then the nice sideways correction. And it's been a little bit of a sideways range for the most part, where you can just see, like in here, that there's your sideways range. But what's been doing now is supporting where it resisted basically at the end of yesterday. This is midnight last night. And I'm watching this at time, 7 p.m., so only 5 hours to go until then. Hey, this is doing pretty good right now as far as the potential that this thing can have further continuation gains towards the upside. You can even see furthermore, this is the resistance and just how well, again, it's been supporting this area. Just put a line there. Resisting it here, resisting it here, resisting it here, getting above it on today, just after lunchtime Eastern time at 1300 hours. And it's been supporting it all day. Resistance has most certainly been majorly established at the 1591 up to the 1618 handle. And this thing, who knows if it's ready to go. I'm just going to react to the situations and then make my trades. I make a spreadsheet for myself where I just put in all the prices in here that I trade. So Bitcoin Cash is a 1583 handle, Bitcoin 38,420, DGB 78, 128 for Adara, Litecoin 445 handle, 60, and then so on and so forth. Price of the Canadian dollar conversion, gold and silver as well. And then it gives me all this information in here. So my biggest differential is only 13%, which is Tezos and DGB. My last trade was at 82.21 ratio. The ratio now is at 93 almost. And if it gets a little bit higher, even closer to 100 or better or type deal, well, that means Tezos is overperforming DGB. So I'll sell Tezos and buy DGB. This one's at 12% for me. That's Litecoin Cash or Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash rather. Litecoin Cash, there is such a thing, and that was a big scam. But within such, I recently sold some Litecoin. I think it was when was it? Yesterday or the day before? For Bitcoin Cash, so I can revert that trade over if it gets a little bit higher. Tezos and Hedera Hashgraph. Hedera had a huge move a few days ago, so bought a few back today. I can get a little bit more if Tezos continues its gain. That's in favor of such. And right now, all my thetas are pretty much light, nothing in double digits for that. And let's just take a quick look at theta without any. I haven't looked at any of this yet recently, but interesting on the hourly time frame here. As it's holding and showing some nice strength for the last 4 or 5 hours amongst the 18 average of highs. And just holding this rally, which is the big thing from key low, which is the low here at this 45.90-ish area, and this key high. This is 4 o'clock in the morning in the session that just the day before. So it has been about well over like 3 dozen hours, so day and a half plus. And it's just a day and a half of just holding in there, correcting this area. This well, just 60, not even 60%, like even close to 40% holding on the retracement. And again, now it's when you look at the retracement from this low to this high, well, it's doing pretty darn near good right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if theta continues to move up from here. Whatever happens, of course, happens. I'm just going to react to the situations. When I'm able to move coins from one place to another, then I'll just keep on doing that. And let's finish off within Ripple, which this is with the Binance crossing. There's more data before this, but I'm looking at more short term. And of course, the obvious news that has went out with that. I'm still short term bullish on the situation. Short term is in like this year. Intermediate term, I guess I should say. So I'm going to be saying I'm short term bearish when I get to my analysis. Although I'm not going to bet it though, because I do see bearish setups moving in here in the short term. We'll see why. But we've already had a failed move from this, or fast move from this failed breakout in here, and daily term, it's been going down and then just not doing much. 4-hour chart. All right, so what we got here? We had a situation where we have key low, key high. And now how does it react to that? Well, we've had this 18 correcting within this. Great. And there we have it. Breakout attempt. This is huge. Now, it hasn't broken this yet, but it's in the area. If you start to see this faltering around the slot machine number 777, even a little higher, like 780 around this area here, that's going to be telling me that that's probably not only going to be going down to 760, but it's even going to be probably at least going down to 720, and even realistically, it's like 700, at least down to like 700. Because we could make a higher or low in this general area here, but when I look at this via the single-hour term time frame, this is pointing to me signs in which this is ready to break down. We come down, we hit this low in here. Up, there's a little bit of a rally, back to previous low. And this rally attempt unable to get above this height, that's weak. Price action had an interesting sell-off come in and then it rebounded, but since then this has been pretty bad in the sense you have the red candle down to the 18 lows, a little bit of a green one, and then just right back down again, just giving it right back at this point. We're right at the bottom end of this range, descending triangle, another way of looking at it. But this, again, is that failed breakout that I mentioned from this plane here. To me, it shouldn't be too much longer before this is down to like 760, whatever. So ways of playing it. If you own Ripple, you can sell it and try to buy it at a cheaper price. If you're bullish on it, I'm saying. And I'm not going to take that chance, but I could easily do it. Ripple's like so amazing in the sense of it takes like no time at all to move coins from hardware wallets to exchanges because it's so darn fast. But you could sell, buy back later. But what would that mean on a win-lose situation? Well, it would mean here, if you have your buy or your buy back in here, you could buy it the exact same amount that you sold for less of a price. So your base currency, you'd gain the differential. Maybe you get like 7, 8, whatever percent more. So I sold 1,000. For every 1,000 I sell, I'm going to get 1,100 or 1,150 back, depending on the whatever your 10%, of course, of a move would get you 10% more. But what happens if you're wrong in the sense, okay, I'm going to bet it and even go something like this, and then Okay, and then you have to buy it back. So now for every 1,000 you sold, now you're buying back 920 or something, or 910. Or you're paying, or you're getting some extra cash to buy the differential from what you lost on the trade. One way or another, it's just one form of, again, playing a situation like that. Then there's those like 3x types of funds that you can find on some exchanges, and be very, very careful with them. But if you're going to get in and out really fast, you got your stops ready to go, whether it's manual or automated, then you can limitize those risks, especially with the short funds, especially. But there are possibilities in playing those markets as well. Now, in here, it did break down at 15.15. And then resisting in here, lower high. I would be very, very surprised if this doesn't go down. But again, if you look at this very short term, if it doesn't, it's got to get above the 18 average of highs and have a gain of like, well, 3+% at this point, getting above over 835. But it did make a big statement on this period here several hours ago. And therefore, if this area holds on a twice time hit support, that's just, wow, really? That's a surprise. I'd be looking at this going to, like, adjusting to my message to the market and looking at this going to 863. Although I'm not confident that's going to happen. I'd still have to see this price get up to about 832, 833, 35 area for me to change my tone on that. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.